Tonight we're making probably a little bit out of season, but it's perfect comfort food for this colder weather. Well, it's turning into colder weather. Corned beef and cabbage. Got cabbage, potatoes, onions, carrots, and of course corned beef. We're going to start with searing the corned beef and then move into adding everything else. It's kind of a quick to prep recipe, just it takes a little while to cook. Okay, to start with on this, we're searing. Kind of want the meat to dry out just a little bit. You want to get a good hard sear on it. So, kind of put it in, try and make sure there's room. Now, at home, most of the pans you're going to have, very few people at home have a big round dough that they could actually do this in. So for most pans you might want to cut it, which I cut this in half just so I could make sure I could fit it in the pan the way I wanted it to. So we're going to let this go for a few minutes, get nice and caramely on the outside, and then flip it over. We'll pull it out, we'll add the veggies and get them going, and then add everything together with some water and let this cook. Okay, this is what we're talking about for a hard sear, how it's nice and getting crusty right in there. These are pretty much done. So we're going to be going into the veggies, start with the veggies yet next. Some garlic, some onion, and carrots. Just like so. We're going to let these cook right in there. And there's a nice amount of fond right in the bottom of this pan, which is going to be beautiful for this. We want that because we want that all that flavor still in there. We're going to get these cooked up just a little bit, just enough to soften. Then I'm going to deglaze with some beer, doing my Indian Summer beer right now, and we'll break up some of that fond. Once that's in, we're going to go back in with the meat, hit it with the cabbage and with the potatoes, and then add some water to it to cover. What we're doing here is called a braise, which means basically cooking a liquid. All these veggies, well, we're going to of course eat these veggies later, but these veggies are in there to add extra flavor into the meat. And I don't really need to add a lot of salt to it because this is corned beef, so it's actually got a lot of salt already into it, and that's going to flavor everything else around it. Okay, the veggies inside are getting about ready, so we're going to add in some beer. That's going to help break up that fond on the bottom and get it mixed around really nice. Like so. Add in the meat. Potatoes. And the cabbage. This is about half a head of cabbage. And some water. You could use stock, but I'm actually wanting to create the stock that's in here with the meat itself. Now, let's see where we are. This cabbage as it cooks is going to actually break down in there. The main thing is I want to make sure that the potatoes are in the liquid or they won't cook, and that the meat is at least 3/4 of the way to all the way covered, which is actually in a good spot right here. So now we're going to cover this, actually about right there, not all the way just yet. We're going to bring up the heat because I want to get that water up to a boil. And once that's boiling, I'm going to cover it, and we're going to cook it around mid-low to, or right around mid-low, not real hot, but it's going to simmer for probably about another 2 to 3 hours. It's a long cooking process, but what we want is that meat to get nice and tender when it's finally done. It's been roughly about 3-ish hours. Everything's ready. I've let the corned beef rest for a little bit. We'll slice into a couple pieces here. Right into the veggies.
we go.